Berekuet Adonai Amvarak, Barak Adonai Amavarak Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Melech Haolam Asher Bakar Banu Mikol, Amin Vinatan Lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Bless Adonai, who is to be blessed. Blessed is Adonai, who is to be blessed forever and ever. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who chose us from all the peoples and gave to us his Torah. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of Torah. Adonai spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai. Speak to the Israelite people and say to them, when you enter the land that I assign to you, the land shall observe a Sabbath of Adonai. 6 years you may sow your field, and 6 years you may prune your vineyard, and gather in the yield. But in the 7th year the land shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, a Sabbath of Adonai. You shall not sow your field or prune your vineyard. You shall not reap the aftergrowth of your harvest, or gather the grapes of your untrimmed vines. It shall be a year of complete rest for the land. But you may eat whatever the land during its Sabbath will produce, you, your male and your female slaves, the hired and bound laborers who live with you, and your cattle and the beasts in your land may eat all its yield. You shall count off 7 weeks of years, 7 times 7 years, so that the period of 7 weeks of years gives you a total of 49 years. Then you shall sound the horn loud. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, the day of atonement, you shall have the horn sounded throughout your land, and you shall hallow the 50th year. You shall proclaim release throughout the land for all its inhabitants. It shall be a jubilee for you. Each of you shall return to your holding, and each of you shall return to your family. That 50th year shall be a jubilee for you. You shall not sow, neither shall you reap the aftergrowth or harvest the untrimmed vines. For it is a jubilee. It shall be holy to you. You may only eat the growth direct from the field. In this year of jubilee, each of you shall return to your holding. When you sell property to your neighbor, or buy any from your neighbor, you shall not wrong one another. In buying from your neighbor, you shall deduct only for the number of years since the Jubilee, and in selling to you, that person shall charge you only for the remaining crop years. The more such years, the higher the price you pay. The fewer such years, the lower the price. For what is being sold to you is a number of harvests. Do not wrong one another, but fear your God, for I, Adonai, am your God. You shall observe my laws and faithfully keep my rules, that you may live upon the land in security. The land shall yield its fruit, and you shall eat your fill, and you shall live upon it in security. And should you ask, what are we to eat in the 7th year, if we may neither sow nor gather in our crops? I will ordain my blessing for you in the 6th year, so that it shall yield a crop sufficient for 3 years. When you sow in the 8th year, you will still be eating old grain of that crop. You will be eating the old until the 9th year, until its crop come in. But the land must not be sold beyond reclaim, for the land is mine. You are but strangers resident with me. Throughout the land that you hold, you must provide for the redemption of the land. If one of your kin is in straits and has to sell part of a holding, the nearest redeemer shall come and redeem what that relative has sold. If any party has no one to be redeemer, but prospers and acquires enough to redeem with, the years since its sale shall be computed, and the difference shall be refunded to the party to whom it was sold, so that the person returns to that holding. If that person lacks sufficient means to recover it, what was sold shall remain with the purchaser until the Jubilee. In the Jubilee year it shall be released, so that the person returns to that holding. If any party sells a dwelling house in a walled city, it may be redeemed until a year has elapsed since its sale. The redemption period shall be a year. If it is not redeemed before a full year has elapsed, the house in the walled city shall pass to the purchaser beyond reclaim throughout the ages. It shall not be released in the Jubilee. But houses in villages that have no encircling walls shall be classed as open country. They may be redeemed, and they shall be released through the Jubilee. As for the cities of Levi, the houses in the cities it holds, Levi shall forever have the right of redemption. Such property as may be redeemed from Levi, houses sold in a city it holds, shall be released through the Jubilee. For the houses in the cities of Levi are its holding among the Israelites. But the unenclosed land about its cities cannot be sold, for that is its holding for all time. If your kin, being in straits, come under your authority, and are held by you as though resident aliens, let them live by your side. Do not exact advance or accrued interest, but fear your God. Let your kin live by your side as such. Do not lend your money at advance interest, nor give your food at accrued interest. I, Adonai, am your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, to give you the land of Canaan, to be your God. If your kin under you continue in straits and must be given over to you, do not subject them to the treatment of a slave. Remaining with you as a hired or bound laborer, they shall serve with you only until the Jubilee year. Then they, along with any children, shall be free of your authority. They shall go back to their family and return to the ancestral holding. For they are my servants, whom I freed from the land of Egypt. They may not give themselves over into servitude. You shall not rule over them ruthlessly, you shall fear your God. Such male and female slaves as you may have, it is from the nations round about you that you may acquire male and female slaves. You may also buy them from among the children of aliens resident among you, or from their families that are among you, whom they begot in your land. These shall become your property. You may keep them as a possession for your children after you, for them to inherit as property for all time. Such you may treat as slaves, but as for your Israelite kin, no one shall rule ruthlessly over another. If a resident alien among you has prospered, and your kin, being in straits, comes under that one's authority, and is given over to the resident alien among you, or to an offshoot of an alien's family, your kin shall have the right of redemption, even after having been given over. Typically, a brother shall do the redeeming, or an uncle's son shall do the redeeming. Anyone in the family who is of the same flesh shall do the redeeming, or, having prospered, your formerly impoverished kin may do the redeeming. The total shall be computed with the purchaser as from the year of being given over to the other until the Jubilee year. The price of sale shall be applied to the number of years, as though it were for a term as a hired laborer under the other's authority. If many years remain, your kin shall pay back for the redemption in proportion to the purchase price. And if few years remain until the Jubilee year, so shall it be computed. Payment shall be made for the redemption according to the years involved. One shall be under the other's authority as a laborer hired by the year. The other shall not rule ruthlessly in your sight. If not redeemed in any of those ways, that person, along with any children, shall go free in the Jubilee year. For it is to me that the Israelites are servants. They are my servants, whom I freed from the land of Egypt. I, your God, Adonai. You shall not make idols for yourselves, or set up for yourselves carved images or pillars, or place figured stones in your land to worship upon, for I, Adonai, am your God. You shall keep my Sabbaths and venerate my sanctuary, mine, Adonai's. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu et torato, Torat emet, v'chayai olam nata bitochenu, Baruch atah Adonai noten ha-Torah. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who gave us the Torah of truth and set everlasting life in our midst. Blessed are you, Lord, giver of the Torah. Blessings before the Haftorah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bakar b'nviim tovim v'ratza v'devarim aneemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai aboker batorah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Israel amo uninvei haemet va'zedek. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has chosen good prophets and was pleased with their words that were uttered with truth. Blessed are you, Adonai, who chooses the Torah and Moses, God's servant, and Israel, God's people, and the prophets of truth and righteousness. Jeremiah said, "The word of God came to me. Anamel, the son of your uncle Shalom, will come to you and say, buy my land in Anathoth, for you are next in succession to redeem it by purchase." And just as God had said, my cousin Hanamel came to me in the prison compound and said to me, please buy my land in Anathoth, in the territory of Benjamin, for the right of succession is yours, and you have the duty of redemption. Buy it. Then I knew that it was indeed the word of God. So I bought the land in Anathoth from my cousin Anamel. I weighed out the money to him, 17 shekels of silver. I wrote a deed, sealed it, and had witnessed. I weighed out the silver on a balance. I took the deed of purchase, the sealed text, and the open one according to the rule and law, and gave the deed to Baruch, son of Neriah, son of Maaseh, in the presence of my kinsman Anamel, of the witnesses who were named in the deed, and all the Judeans who were sitting in the prison compound. In their presence I charged Baruch as follows. Thus said God of hosts, the God of Israel, take these documents, this deed of purchase, the sealed text, and the open one, and put them into an earthen jar, so that they may last a long time. For thus said God of hosts, the God of Israel, houses, fields, and vineyards shall again be purchased in this land. But after I had given the deed to Baruch son of Neriah, I prayed to God, my sovereign God, you made heaven and earth with your great might and outstretched arm. Nothing is too wondrous for you. You show kindness to the 1,000th generation, but visit the guilt of the parents upon their children after them. O great and mighty God, whose name is God of hosts, wondrous in purpose and mighty indeed, whose eyes observe all the ways of mortals, so as to repay each one according to their ways, and with the proper fruit of their deeds. You displayed signs and marvels in the land of Egypt with lasting effect, and one renowned in Israel and among humankind to this very day. You freed your people Israel from the land of Egypt with signs and marvels, with a strong hand and an outstretched arm, and with great terror. You gave them this land that you had sworn to your fathers to give them, a land flowing with milk and honey, and they came and took possession of it. But they did not listen to you or follow your teaching. They did nothing of what you commanded them to do. Therefore, you have caused all this misfortune to befall them. Here are the siege mounds raised against the city to storm it, and the city, because of sword and famine and pestilence, is at the mercy of the Chaldeans who are attacking it. What you threatened has come to pass, as you see. Yet you, my sovereign God, said to me, buy the land for money and call in witnesses when the city is at mercy of the Chaldeans. Then the word of God came to Jeremiah. Behold, I am God, the God of all flesh. Is anything too wondrous for me? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zer kol haolamim zadik, vekol adoret ahel הנאמן, האומר ועושה, המדבר חיים, שכל דבריו אמת וצדק. נאמן אתה אדוני אלוהינו, ונאמנים דבריך, ודבר אחד מדבריך אחור לא ישב, רחם כי אל מלך נאמן, ורחמם אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הנאמן בכל דבריו. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, rock of all eternities, righteous in all generations, the faithful God who says and does, who speaks and fulfills, all of whose words are true. Faithful are you, Lord our God, and faithful are your words. Not one of your words turns back unfulfilled, for you, O God, are a faithful and compassionate King. Blessed are you, Lord, the God who is faithful in all his words.